Hi there, welcome to my channel where I take you on tours of tiny and unique homes. In today's video, we're revisiting a talented young architect to see his most recent creation. Last time we checked in on Cam, he was building a tiny container home, which actually spanned a creek, had an elevator bed, and a transforming bathroom. Today we're taking a look at his new, gorgeous, modern tiny home on wheels, which features so many clever ideas. If you like these kind of videos, make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you know every single time I publish a new video. But right now, let's check in on Cam and take a tour of his new tiny home.
Will you join me? Will you roll? Make this house our tiny home.
Hi, I'm Cam, and this is my tiny house. So I went to school for architecture and then worked for an architecture firm for a little while. Had my boss kind of encourage me to build a tiny house, so I built one, sold it, and then you guys saw a shipping container build that I did a little while ago that was on this channel, and kind of has gone from there. So I've stuck with building tiny homes so far because it's just more feasible for me financially. So I've stuck to the tiny homes. And I really like the design process around them, the challenging aspect of space and storage and making it still comfortable and open and airy to be able to feel as though you are in a large home, but it is still tiny. If you change one little thing in such a small space, it could change a huge amount. So I've been debating whether or not it is easier or harder to build a container home or a tiny home. The tiny home takes a little bit longer because you are putting more time into the exterior, and the container is a little smaller, so it takes more time to figure that out, the details there. So as much as I'd like to live in my tiny home builds, I think this one will be listed, and in the meantime it will be put up on Airbnb as well. So hopefully you guys can come enjoy it and see this work of art here. What I like about living tiny is it's comfortable. You don't need as much space. With my design, it's been very comfortable to live in. It's kind of fun as well to invite people over and have them see your space, and every time someone walks in they go, oh, it feels way bigger than I thought it was going to. So seen those reactions and just enjoying it, because you still get the creature comforts of home, it's just slightly smaller. So we're outside our tiny home here. Tried to keep it as clean as possible using this black metal siding here to kind of help it blend into a background. When it's against a field or even looking this way against the trees, it kind of blends in, just leaves it nice and clean. So black windows all over, and then we have this nice big deck here. Maybe not big, but comfortably sized deck here. So you get 2 seats, some beautiful plants, a nice area just to hang out outside the tiny home, kind of extends the living area just a little bit. Tiny house itself, tried to get in as many windows as possible for cross ventilation and to look out at the nice view. So this is more of the living side of the tiny house. And then there is a back side, so a little smaller windows. So the tiny house itself is 24 feet long, 8.5 feet wide, and 13 3.5 feet tall. So it's legal limit to go down the road. It's built on this trailer here that was specifically designed for the tiny home. So it's a pan style trailer. Walls are attached to the trailer itself. So wherever it goes, the tiny house goes. And then heating and cooling is done by this mini split here that is nicely placed on the front of the trailer. And then as we step around the back, so this is more of our private side here. So a little less windows, you can kind of stick this up against the back of a house almost, or kind of more of your private side at least. So this is where my water tank would go when I finally get off the grid with water. So for this tiny house, I didn't want the standard boxy looking tiny house. And with this roof line, it allows you to have a high point of the peak right in the loft. So at your high point, is where you enter the loft. So it gives you as much headroom as possible, and then also gives you this cool modern look to the tiny house itself. Instead of having just a big box that goes down the road, I was trying to stay away from that and keep this these modern lines. Services into the tiny house itself. On the back here, we have this plug. It is a 220 plug, but it runs 110, just to get the beefy line to be able to run the mini split. And then all other services are on the front of the trailer. So propane, which the stove and the hot water heater run off of propane. And then everything else is electric, and the mini split and water also go in on the front. Welcome. We have just entered this beautiful tiny home. We are in the foyer here. So in our foyer, we have our front hall closet here. And then next over, we are into the kitchen area. For this design, I was trying to create as large a kitchen as possible and get an island in there because everybody loves it, to hang out around it. The conversation flows so someone can cook and do dishes and hang out. A big feature of the kitchen itself is this beautiful black splash of Sexy-Ply. This took a little while. I had COVID at the time and had some time on my hands, so meticulously put it all together, created a veneer. I think it turned out pretty cool in my mind. So Sexy-Ply is around in this build, to say the least. It's featured in the ceiling, the counters, the backsplash, all in the loft as well, so it is everywhere. Try to get as much storage in here as possible, so a lot of drawers, big drawers here. So it has an oven, stovetop, kind of all you need. You can still utilize this space with a cutting board or something along those lines if you need some extra space. Then we come over here, we have our pantry area here, and hidden in our pantry area, we have the hot water heater, because nobody likes looking at that. And then our heating and cooling is done by this mini split here as well. Apartment size fridge with a freezer, because who doesn't want ice cream? And then looking at the island itself, we have this nice large sink, because nobody likes to do dishes in a tiny little sink like van life people. So as we flip around from the kitchen area, kitchen island's right here, so we have our large living area space. So big couch, because lounging and watching TV or hanging out on a large couch is always really nice. Get some nice storage underneath, some large drawers as well. Tried to fit as much storage in here as possible. And we have a credenza over here, so it's a little bit lower than the couch, but you can still sit here, have a nice little space. A little gathering space here, and then eventually there will be a table built here so you can host a little dinner party. And then we have this beautiful bookshelf for storage, some more Sexy-Ply there for you, and then our beautiful, beautiful Sexy-Ply stairs that bring you up to the loft here. I tried to keep these as simple as possible, but still with a cool look to them. So as we go up, into our loft here, as I'm 6 feet tall, so you can stand, sort of stand, and make your bed and get in and out just a little easier than having a full loft here. So this little recessed space here is really nice for accessing the loft and accessing your bed right here. So here we can have another work from home space if you want. You can sit here, have your little keyboard, work from home, or this could eventually be another hanging closet if you need more storage. So tried to think of everything. And then here we have a translucent light down into the bathroom to give us just a little more light down there. So one nice feature about this tiny house is the ceiling itself. It's all Sexy-Ply, clean lines, very nice lights that come through. But when you're up in the loft, it kind of creates this nice cocoon feeling, nice warm wood, kind of gets you ready for bed in a nice cozy sense. So we enter our nice bathroom area here. So we have a large vanity area on this side with a large medicine cabinet, a big mirror, a cool raised sink. Tried to have a big shower in this one. This is a 32 by 32 shower, nicely tiled with a handheld thing to get all your bits. And then on this side, this is our storage side. So we have our stairs here, our translucent light here. And then we have a hanging closet right here, large space, big drawer here. And then one feature we have, because you need a toilet, is our dry flush toilet here. But it hides away nicely and you don't smell anything. The fan's right there to keep the smell away. It's all self-contained in here, so no black water for this tiny house at the moment, just because this is all self-contained. And then when you're done, you hide it away and good to go. So as we flip around here in the bathroom, you shut the door to access this stuff, but so some nice shelves to keep all of your toiletries and everything else here. This is either a storage area or large enough to fit a washer dryer unit eventually. I have not gotten to it yet. And then this is your clothes storage here. So as much storage as possible to keep everything nice and tidy in the tiny house itself. I ran LED strip lights through the whole thing and down into the backsplash area to illuminate that and make it a little more bright and show off the Sexy-Ply backsplash. So next is finishing another tiny home, the one that I was building in tandem with this one. So finishing the inside of that because that's just a shell right now. And then a van build could be in the future as well, or just more tiny homes.
Thanks for watching this week's video. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you soon with another unique home tour.